You were with Sean Callahan, Husker Online.
Yeah.
In Hawaii last week for the Polynesian Bowl, we're joined now by Sean. Sean, good morning. First question is, did Sip behave himself in Hawaii for a week?
I can confirm he had the one with the picture that went viral. That was his only margarita of the week.
Yeah, I had one margarita. Was I surly at all?
No, I mean, I think he said. Now, I caught a bit of your show the other day, and he misnamed the ACI Bowl the Waikiki Bowl on your show the other morning. I was listening to you guys talking about what Sipple had to eat in Hawaii.
What's it called?
I gave him a hard time that he referred to the ACI Bowl as the Waikiki Bowl.
I think it was a Waikiki Aussie. What are you calling this bowl?
Acai.
Acai.
Acai?
Acai. ACAI. Acai.
Okay, you know what that is?
Yes, I know what acai is.
Okay.
Yes.
It's a kind of hash.
Yes.
Is it?
No, I have no idea.
Sean, regarding the week that was in Hawaii, you saw Dylan Raiola, you saw, of course, Carter Nelson, Preston Taumua. Go to Raiola first. You know, in terms of the practices you saw in the game, what was your impressions of what you saw from him down there, Sean?
Well, just the poise and the way he carried himself, the effort he took to learn the playbook going out there, to the point where he was instructing the other players on the field what they should have been doing or what should they be doing, because he studied and wanted to learn the entire playbook that week. So that was impressive. Just his presence out there, the way he carried himself. His arm talent speaks for itself. You're just not going to see very many quarterbacks with that kind of arm talent. I talked to somebody over in Nebraska, and they said, as far as young quarterbacks, that they can't recall too many ever that have had that kind of arm talent already. And now it's like a Sip wrote this week. Can he read the defenses and kind of take those next steps to be a Division I quarterback? I mean, all the tools are there, the want to, the intangibles, but the next thing is, can he translate that to a Big Ten football field against defensive coordinators in this league that we know are some of the best in college football?
What did you think of his game performance in the Polynesian Bowl itself?
Well, he was 9 of 15, I believe, but there were probably 2 or 3 drops in there. So it could have easily been like an 11 of 15 type game for him. The one interception, there was a miscommunication, and it appeared the wrong route was read, but you saw a really nice RPO play at the end to Carter Nelson. The 40-yard touchdown pass was the play of the game. It's a hard game to get into a rhythm.
Yeah.
Because they rotate so many of those guys in and out of there. I mean, there are 12 turnovers in the game between the two teams in that game. Obviously, Raiola had the one pick, but it just, I think 12. There's 12-minute quarters played in that game, which is not a regular game, and there were 16 possessions. So it was definitely there wasn't a lot of flow, and that's usually the norm with all-star games. Because you just don't have a lot of practice time to kind of put a team together. But he looked really impressive just with the things that he brought to the table.
People keep asking me, what's he like as a runner? Dylan.
Well, you saw the play where he kept it alive, kind of running around. He moves his feet. I mean, he's got good footwork, but he's a guy that when he's on the move, he's not looking to run it down the field. He's keeping his eyes down the field instead. Kind of more of like a Spencer Rattler style. He can run it though if he has to. There's no doubt. He's big enough. He's physical enough. You're not going to really put a beating on this guy because he's 230 plus pounds right now with a huge lower body. That's going to be hard to bring down. But he's a guy that's going to, when he's on the move, he's going to be looking down the field versus just having his eyes down and looking to take off and run.
Joined by Sean Callahan. Sean, Sip came back and said regarding Carter Nelson, it's a guy that's going to be hard to keep off the field his freshman year with the way he played in Hawaii.
Oh, he will be hard.
Did you agree with that, Sean? What was your thoughts on his week in Hawaii?
Yeah, immediately. He got there a day late. He was on the same kind of schedule we were on because our flight out of Omaha didn't get out on Sunday. So he jumped into camp there the second day and fit right in. I mean, that's what jumped out to me. The first day he got there was a tug of war competition where they pulled out players, and he immediately just had a presence around all these alpha 4 and 5 star guys, and wanted to win the tug of war. His team won the tug of war. He celebrated as much as any guy. I mean, he had this kind of a presence immediately with his team, and the way he carried himself as well. And then it carried over to the game. He was the leading receiver in the game in terms of receiving yards. The RPO catch that he had from Raiola set up that touchdown that kind of put the game away for his team. He had the first big receiving play of the game where everybody's like, wow, this kid's good. And Mike Zimmer's comments to us this week about just what he showed out to him in camp. I think when you have an 8-man guy, you always wonder how they're going to make the transition. I'll use Seth Malcolm as an example. He came in as an 8-man guy that was really successful, and it just didn't work out for him at Nebraska. Carter Nelson is not like that. He has just a different level of confidence around him, even though he's never played 11-man football till this last month.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. It wasn't really highly played. The level of play wasn't great in the game, but they were hitting. I mean, the defense was hitting, and he doesn't back down to any of that. Okay, then there's Preston Taumua. He played on the other team, which was a little awkward, but he's a guard. He looks like a pure guard to me. I guess he told you in your interview that he could play tackle too. What did you see from him, and what do you expect? This is pure red shirt?
In most cases, old linemen are. The 4-game rule always is a nice thing that they can utilize. But yeah, he's a guy that will, I think, have a chance to play early in his career. And he described his ability as a player that has a guard body with tackle footwork and capability. So he could play tackle if they had to slide him out, but he probably thinks he's a guard at 6'4", almost 330 right now. But just a mean, tough kid. And Donovan Raiola deserves a lot of credit because he was, the top player in the state of Hawaii, and they got him to Nebraska. I think the key is they didn't get him to come back to Nebraska for a visit. In January, he committed in June. Yeah, that was his official visit. He has not been back to Nebraska. He's been here one time, and then he'll come back out here in June to start his Husker career.
It's tough travel. It's tough travel from the island. That's what I discovered. It hit me hard yesterday, Sean. God almighty.
Get your sleep back.
Yeah, I took like 3 naps yesterday. Hey, what up? 3. What do you think of Zim?
That's all. I mean, just having Mike Zimmer and Marvin Lewis all week around those kids. I mean, that was cool to me. Just seeing 2 pro guys that were playoff level NFL head coaches. But just the information Zim shared about that process over 20 years ago. I told Sipple, I go, we were like detectives. We cracked a case here that was 20 years old where Zimmer shared his story on the record about what happened with Nebraska in 2004. And, just being a historical guy that likes to follow the history of this program. I mean, that was interesting to me to hear Mike Zimmer say how close he was to taking that Nebraska head coaching job back in that January of 2004.
Yeah, I had no idea he woke up Monday morning after his Sunday visit and thought he was going to take the job. I didn't even know he was offered the job. So it was a big revelation to me. It was close.
Well, he came to town, though. Like, he come
I suppose,
in person and do a tour of the facilities and meet with officials on the campus. Generally, doesn't that mean that they want you? Like,
I suppose.
I mean, I don't ever really recall a guy coming to town in Nebraska and not having kind of like a verbal offer in his hand.
What happened, though, it all happened really fast. Remember, it was a Sunday night that he came. And then by Monday morning, by noon, I think the next day, he had sort of re-upped with the Cowboys. So it all happened.
Peterson was really scrambling back then.
Yeah, that was like
about just how, the Houston Nut, because that was after Houston Nut, right?
Oh God, Sean, it was like 35 days in to the search.
Then it went to Callahan after Zimmer.
He was the last one before Callahan.
Well, Sean, we'll let you go. We were hoping to get a video of Sip throwing a pass at some point in your time in Hawaii. It didn't happen. Maybe next time. Bill, what was the number we had for the throw for Sip?
I didn't set it. Was 35.5. 35 and we gave a ridiculous amount of free advertising to On3 to get this done. And Sean didn't do it. Yeah,
I just need some money.
Well, we could have
advertised it big time every single day about On3.
Yeah. I don't get any of that advertising.
We're doing just fine with or without your advertising.
All right. Well,
sometimes it's just about the people, Sean. It's not just about your pocket.
It's Sipple's NIL value for a throw like that. It's pretty significant.
I need a Harley or something.
Yeah, we'll make it happen next time. Sean, thanks for the time. We'll chat with you next week.
Thanks, guys.
Husker Online, Sean Callahan.